Of all the games that released on the Switch last year, one of the most enjoyable but also one of the most disappointing titles was Saints Row 3. It was a decent port of the 2011 game but has suffered from many technical issues like a pretty awful frame rate and many glitches. And whilst it did eventually get patched, it still is far from perfect. But now, a year later, we're now seeing its sequel, Saints Row 4, being re-elected for a new term on the Switch. So let's see how they did, shall we? Saints Row 4 follows the famous Saints as they've hit an all-time high, being in charge of the American government, only for an alien invasion to happen and kidnap the whole Saints and put them in a simulation of Steelport. Trapped in this simulation, the Saints must find a way to stop the evil alien Zinyak, the only way they know how, with guns, lewd humour, and now, superpowers. Like all the Saints Row games, its story isn't brilliant, but it does deliver a solid tale with a script chock-a-block full of charm and near-the-knuckle humour the series isn't well known for. Those who are easily offended probably should steer clear, but those who don't mind it will easily find one of the most funniest games on the Switch. On to the gameplay now, and Saints Row 4 is incredibly similar to its third entry. Heck, it's even set in the same open world as Steelport. The only thing different now is it's constantly night time. Now this does kind of feel lazy, but when you think that the game was initially started off as DLC, it kinda does make sense. But thankfully, there's one thing that elevates this sequel to make it an absolute blast: the many different superpower abilities. See, the President, your main character, can gain access to many cool different abilities such as super speed, jumps, telekinesis, to powerful stomps, to name but a few. These abilities really do spice up the gameplay a lot, making every combat and exploration encounter really fun and enjoyable. Many of the game's main missions follows the same sort of structure as the previous game, with many shootouts, protecting allies and escorting missions. Again, these missions can feel very repetitive, but the humour and fun gameplay shines through. The superpowers start off pretty weak, but as you go through the game you soon gain a few upgrades and you soon get pretty powerful quite quickly. And that in turn causes another issue: you end up being far too powerful and the game becomes far too easy on the easier difficulties. Also, upgrading the super speed moves make driving cars completely pointless as you can get there much quicker by running. Exploring the open world of Steelport is exactly the same as it was in Saints Row 3, but we do have a great new selection of side activities to keep you busy, such as races, tank mayhem, and some more Professor Genki missions. We also have a nice selection of side missions as well that help boost the rest of the Saints, as well as getting to know them more. Combat in the game feels incredibly fun with plenty of shootouts, and with the added ability of the super moves, it does add for a lot more variety in how you tackle battles. That being said, some of the new weapons in the game are incredibly fun to use, such as the dubstep gun, plunger gun, inflator gun, and also the return of the iconic dildo bat. Lengthwise, Saints Row 4 delivers another meaty experience, taking you around a good 15 hours to reach the game's credits if you just follow the mainline story. But if you want to aim for the elusive 100% and complete all the side missions, then you're looking at a good 25 to 30 hours. But as this is the re-elected edition, the game also includes all the game's previously released DLC such as costumes, weapons, and 2 new story packs called Enter the Dominatrix and How the Saints Saved Christmas. Both are very enjoyable little tales that add a few more hours of fun to the package. Those who are hoping for the inclusion of the side story DLC Get Out of Hell, I'm afraid it isn't actually included here, but then again you're not missing much as it was a highly forgettable adventure and I really didn't like it at all. But now it's time to talk about what you've all been waiting for, and that's the performance. And I'm happy to report Volition has done a great job here. The frame rate here is certainly way more stable, both in portable and handheld play, than in last year's Saints Row 3. There is some frame rate issues here and there, but you hardly notice them whatsoever. Some of the textures have been toned down a bit, and mostly being set at night does help keep the frame rate being more solid. The game actually do look great on the Switch, keeping all the cartoonish art style that the series is known for, though there is the odd glitch here and there. Conclusion time now, and Saints Row 4 re-elected is yet another welcome Switch port, and thankfully it's handled brilliantly with hardly any issues at all. The game is another fun and bonkers open world adventure with the Saints with a lengthy campaign and plenty of content. There are the odd glitches here and there, and it is a rather samey affair if you come straight from Saints Row the Third, as it uses the same map, but the superhero abilities make this game an absolute joy to play, so that's why I'm giving Saints Row 4 re-elected on the Switch an 8 out of 10 with a title of great. Thank you for watching my review, like, rate and subscribe, and until next time, happy gaming, bye!